What is going on YouTube? AlphonZeus up Team Gradelock here with another episode of Unlocking Your Week, episode 77. We're going to start things off with the local results that happened at Game On this past weekend for Cardfight Vanguard. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have a feature card buddy fight tournament that same day on Saturday because the Vanguard tournament took really long. But we're going to be going into the video content that you will be expecting for this week, and then cap off the episode with an episode review of Ride 204 or G Turn 8. Woohoo! No more black lines! It took 76 episodes to realize that I had it on the wrong resolution. I had it actually on 640 by 480 rather than 1280 by 720. So thankfully now we have at least no more black lines to deal with on the vlog episodes. So going into the local results for Cardfight Vanguard, it was about 20 people that actually entered the tournament. So we had 5 rounds of Swiss with a top 8 playoff cut to the top 4. So it was a very long tournament. Kind of drained a lot of people out of it because by the time you hit round 3 or 4, kind of realize where you're going with it, and you kind of feel like dropping. But of course, if you drop, you kind of screw up all the opponents that you ever went up against, so it's kind of bad. But let's go through at least a more detailed version of what I told you on the Facebook page. I'll also put a link to that down below, so you can try and go on there, like our page, and subscribe just for more content, whether it's memes from Axel or just more video links from the past, as well as the present and upcoming videos. So moving into the actual tournament, I went in with the D Robos D Popo of Dimension Police. I ended up going 2 and 3. So round 1, I went up against Frank against his witches with Shadow Paladins with a Teched in Lise, the brawler from the Fires Collection 2014. And we had a pretty intense set of games. Game 1, I was Gradelock at 2 for 1 turn. It's kind of helped him with a little bit more advantage on getting more damage early on. And then that led to pretty much myself trying to catch up as much as possible and hope I get a heal trigger, but I did not get a heal trigger, so I had to deal with just guarding a little bit more proactively. And then I had to go into game 2, where I had to rely on just utilizing the Great Kaiser Break Ride and getting the triggers I need, whether it's grade 3 to pop stuff on the Guardian Circle or the critical triggers built in just to try and get over Frank's defense. And then game 3, it relied on me leaving 2 of my grade 0 rear guards on deck, and dear God, I couldn't be able to block any of that. It really realized that the grade 1 witch, where you get to retire if your opponent has 2 grade 0 rear guards, then that means I get a minus 5k on the Vanguard. So I was able to only block all 3 attacks, but on that second drive check, he actually drove check a stand trigger to stand Lise up, and he was swinging for a huge enough number already, so I had to take it. So Frank took the first round. And then moving into round 2, it was a rematch between Shane and myself, and we had a pretty intense going about of games for the past few weeks now. At least this time, there were no shenanigans, no grade locks, etc. It really came down to just game 3, where it's game 1, I would get it on him being grade lock at 2 and utilizing the Great Kaiser cross break ride. And then game 2, he had the break ride Novell over Dauntless, and I had zeros in my hand that couldn't really guard. And then we get into game 3, where we were just trading heals off like constantly. I don't know. We were even thinking like, heal trigger, yep, it goes off. Heal trigger, yep, that goes off. And I had to rely on just utilizing 2 triple drive checks because I was able to heal enough damage to try and get another one going. So moving into round 3, where I faced off against Alex, and he was running the Abyss Revengers. I managed to 2-0 him because both of his games he got grade locked at 0, and it was really bad because I don't know how to grade lock people. I don't know what type of sorcery that the team has. It's just by the luck of the draw and just trying to shuffle just right. And grade lock really sucks. I wish that the G assist would come a little bit sooner, but unfortunately that won't be the case. So as Alex pretty much took the 2-0 loss, we had to move on into round 4, where I faced off against Adam, and he was running the Liberators and Gold Paladin. He was actually using somebody else's deck. I think it was Chris L's deck, and he was just really pounding me in with not Prominence Core, because that's not legal yet. The Trial deck Legion for Gold Paladins, not the Vanilla Legion. Oh well, he actually used the Vanilla Legion. And then you also had the other main Trial deck Legion, where the Legion Mate is probably one of the most broken I've seen, because that Legion Mate can pump up Bruno to insane amounts of power on just calling and calling. So you had rearguard column swinging for like 21k, which is of course magic number for the legions, and he managed to beat me because I wasn't able to really capitalize. He managed to put in some early guards to kind of save off for the major great deck Kaiser cross break ride when swinging with the critical, and so he managed to beat me 2-0 then. Moving into round 5, where I actually go up against Johan. He was also running a similar Liberator build, but utilizing not Zenith. Zenith actually Adam used to defeat me in game 2 because he was, superior calling. Even if you superior call a trigger in Gold Paladins, usually you will be swinging for a 15k by itself, and then whatever the booster adds up for, say, 22. And for this one, Johan, he stuck with the complete Legion deck for the trial deck, including the Vanilla Legion. So I was Gradelock at both games at 0 for at least 2 turns. So even though I felt salty about it, it's part of the game. It's part of the Vanguard Casino. I just went in with quarters and I got out pennies that are less than 25 cents if you want to try and sum up that emotion for it. So I ended up going, as I said before, 2 and 3, and I think that if I want to become even more of a threat, I should probably take out 2 Die Tigers and put in 2 Commander Laurels in there to really put in more Vanguard pressure than ever, so you can even drop like pretty much their whole hand to make sure this doesn't go through. Because if it does go through, I'm gonna restand and try and swing it again. It may not be with a triple drive check, but it will be with a critical with a Guardian Poppin' Power. So moving into top 4, after the top 8 playoffs took place, the 4 people that managed to make it to top 4 with Frank with the Witches of Shadow Paladin. We had Joe L with the Abyss Revengers. We had John with the Immortal Ashura Kaiser build from Nova Grapplers, and we have CK with the Omega Glendios Beatdown variant build. If you don't know the Omega Glendios Beatdown variant build, you can check out the video on our channel. You can just search up Team Gradelock Omega Glendios. And seeing 3/4 of Team Gradelock taking the top 4 spots in the 20-person tournament, that's pretty good. Shows consistency that we're here to stay, we're here to dominate, and we're here to show that hey, we can be a premier team in the New Jersey area. So glad to see those dudes make top 4, as well as Frank from Team Dark Matter representing his team as well. So moving into the video content you'll see for this week. What we have heard of so far was 2 deck profiles. We recorded 2 on this past Saturday. One with John for the Immortal Share Kaiser, which actually during the tournament he actually took a person from 0 to 6 damage in 1 turn. A little OTK in Vanguard, which is kind of unheard of, because I don't think I've seen anybody rack up from 0 to 6 damage in 1 turn. And he utilized, the Mono Break Ride, Immortal Share Kaiser for his twin drive. It was a critical trigger and a grade 3, just enough to restand everybody and then swing in, and then rearguard column was swinging for 82. It was really silly. So moving into the video content for at least that, we'll have unlocking a deck for him, and we have a bonus deck profile for you later in the week. We have Jenna that actually wanted to bring in a throwback Dr. Regular profile with some new stuff in the Fighters collection. So headed by Blade Ring Reggie, the King of Master Ontarian Break Ride, and the Echo of Nemesis. I find it pretty alright. If you're looking for a good budget Dr. Regular build that can at least somewhat compete with the Legion format, I'm pretty sure Dr. Regular will be your go-to choice for that. And we'll have that video up by the end of the week. But we will also have a matchup for you. John and I are going to clash in the Cardfight Vanguard match, best of 3s, and we're going to provide some live commentary from Henry. So we're going to be looking for that hopefully around Wednesday or Thursday if I get around the time to just edit that piece together. So after the video content is done, I actually want to bring up something about the sneak peek. The Set 16 version E, Legions of Dragons and Blades version E. And unfortunately, Game On wasn't able to get their shipment in. They said it was a shipment error, so they didn't receive any pizza boxes. So by the time Friday rolled around, we actually had the people of Team Gradelock that were there actually drive over to the Time Warp Comics and Games store in Cedar Grove and actually pick up what was remaining of their Set 16 sneak peek there, because of course Gamers Gambit closed down, so now you have fewer stores that you can go to for sneak peek stuff. So after they got their pizza boxes, I know Jenna and Joe pulled 2 Legion rares. One was the Alfred, the exclusive Legion that I've seen there, and the second was the Prominence Core. So pretty broken for his pizza box to be pulling out 2 Legion rares. And seeing all the other pulls that they went through, I know that a lot of people, including John, like to rip up that new Spike Brothers heel trigger. So that set 16 I may have no interest in, but I know that at least a couple of members of Team Gradelock, they want to be interested in that. They want to pick up, brawlers for Josh. I know that Ryan and a few others, they want to try and make Spike Bros. And then you have the Seekers that Alex wants to build, and then you have the leaders that are kind of making a pretty interesting impact on the meta. So in terms of what's going to happen next week, maybe if they do get their sneak peek packs, maybe we can do a delayed sneak peek opening that can actually be utilized in the legal format. So hopefully we'll have something up for you by that time. We'll try and even provide pictures and stuff for you as well. And since we weren't able to record any of those pizza box openings, I do apologize. We'll try and see if we can get more openings current on later in the week. Hopefully, if somebody would actually purchase a box, we can do just a quick box opening for Team Gradelock and show you at least, okay, this is what we pulled. What do you guys think? And just comment down below with that. Going into now what's going to happen in the future. So with both the Facebook page live and our YouTube channel slowly growing, almost hitting 300 subscribers has been pretty much a joy for us. So I want to try and do giveaways hopefully either by the end of this year or maybe starting off in January when things kind of like settle down after the holidays. So there's a couple things that Team Gradelock has planned, including just trying to go out to more tournaments, whether it's the ARG circuit or the official Bushiroad World Championship qualifiers. And speaking of that, our national champion Arturo, he's going to be, he was practicing all the time, just going through deck and deck and deck and deck and deck and just trying to practice his craft and make sure that he can bring what he has, since he's going to be representing America in the world stage against Europe and Asia's respective champions. So we'll cheer on so much for him, and we'll look forward to see what's going to happen, because this is a first for a Bushiroad tournament to have a world championship stage. So go Arturo. And yeah, I think that covers, yes, the local results and then the video content. And now let's get into the episode review. We have Ride 204 or G Turn 8. We get to see a returning character come back to the G series, and it's quite interesting, I have to say. So spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, you can pause, close the video, go watch that episode, come back right here so we can discuss about it. But of course, you can always close up the video and be on your merry way. So Ride 204 or G Turn 8, Beautiful Nagisa. The episode title really just brings it all together, because now, 2 years or whatever years have passed by, you can see everybody grow up a bit more, and sometimes a whole lot more. Seeing Kamui go from a person that's already, like what, 3.5 feet, and go up to, dear guy, he's already at Shin's height right now, and he's just starting up like high school right now. So seeing that change from him is crazy. But then when we get to see that opening scene where we see Kamui's face on there, we get to see, oh, I also thought this is Nagisa. This has to be Nagisa. No way. She grew up like that? Really? And as we get into the episode where Chrono becomes first acquainted with Nagisa, you tell it's like, all right, who is this girl? What's her MO? What's her agenda right now? Because I haven't seen you at the store before. And when Shin kind of fills in everything on what's happening, I'm like, all right, that sounds good. And how he gets to see Kamui going, and then he realizes and recognizes Nagisa after he tries so hard to hide it, because of course his first true love is Emi Sendo, of course, of Oni-chan, Aichi. And the hilarity that goes through this, that Kamui would go to such lengths to avoid Nagisa, it shows that 2 years passed by, it was completely nothing. And the way that they both kind of used, I guess, an abuse of power in their questing system into just saying, hey, I want to battle Kamui, I don't want anything getting in my way. And the fact that she actually knows Netotaro and the rest of Team Trinity Dragon, okay, this made things a little bit more interesting. Because now they are trying to guard Kamui from ever leaving. And how Kamui would literally try to not deal with Nagisa at all. And how it just says, alright, I'll just, do something else. I'm working. I'm trying to do work. And when Chrono's trying his best, saying, but you play Cardfight Vanguard while you work as well. And you see those like stairs and those cracks in the pen. That causes a whole lot, when you have, and especially in terms of Nagisa, when Kamui would say Nagisa, oh, why would I contact you for? Bam, crack the pencil, and all of a sudden, when Chrono and Shin would bring up how he plays while he works, and oh, you can just take a break at lunch and you can play Cardfight Vanguard then. Kamui gives a death stare to both of them pretty equally, and they kind of resemble the new crowd that's being introduced to Cardfight Vanguard because they don't know about the history of the relationship or lack thereof between Kamui and Nagisa, and how he would end up going as to so far he would escape through the bathroom and literally they'd do the quest and say, oh, we're hunting them down, just running all over the place. And the thing is though, if Kamui wouldn't be so active in just trying to say, oh, I think I lost him, he probably would have got away. And the thing is though, when it came down to just the final confrontation between the two, it seemed that they cornered him because you see the fences and stuff. And how Nagisa would bring up this whole philosophy lesson from the Buddha and Son Goku. Oh wow, it's like so inevitable. And how Kamui would just say, ah, I did a quest as well, and brought in Chrono to fend off while Kamui escapes. And Chrono would actually challenge Nagisa to a fight, so I'm thinking, alright, let's see what Nagisa has to bring to the table in terms of Cardfight Vanguard, especially in the Stride generation. But then, as they begin, we see Nagisa break down and she plays the sympathy card, which is completely, oh wow, Nagisa, why'd you do that? You literally went into his mind like poison ivy and poisoned his mind with your words. And how it came out to be where Kamui would end up being so, I guess, frustrated in the end, because even though that Chrono did get through Team Trinity Dragon with just a as if it was a sword fight, and Nagisa Poison, boom, comes in, and he comes in with the face of the episode, as I like to call it, because then he'd just come across a story that he apparently believes 100% true, because Nagisa did really grow up quite well. She looks, she looks pretty. And the way that the face that he makes when he goes like, ah, I lost all respect for you. I like it, especially when they manage to, like do a quick close up right there. It's, oh man, it's hilarious. I wish that they would have done a little bit more with that spec, but I think having the close up on his evil grin as Nagisa looks on, and you think, doesn't matter how pretty this girl got, she is still the same Nagisa that I saw for the past 4 seasons of Cardfight Vanguard. And seeing how they were gonna come to blows as well, then you even get their own story. Because as Chrono would detail this whole not true love story between Nagisa and freaking Kamui, how her family, Team Handsome, happened to be this whole conglomerate. Why are you coming up with this stuff? It's like you planned this your whole life, which I can probably say she probably did because she had 2 years. And how Kamui say like, why are you doing this? Remember our story, how we trained? And you just see kind of like the flashback to just a Rocky type of training, similar to the little training seminar they had in season 4 on, Leon's island. Oh my. And it all came down to, alright, we're gonna play Cardfight Vanguard, and if I win, you will not see the store. You will not come and see me ever again at the store. Pretty much like dropping the band hammer. But if she wins, they get married. And so they go to the card fight. They fight it out. We see Kamui and them going in, apparently striding over a grade 0. And after Nagisa, what seems like to be kicking his ass with a trigger, crit stand I've seen. And now Kamui's like, alright, that's it. I'm going into Stride Generation. Screw grade 0. I'm going to be riding right on top of this. You are defying the logic. You are defying Cardfight Vanguard right now. Because people can stride from 0. You turn a Gradelock into a part where you just say, hey, I'm going to drop 3 cards and get 3 cards back to my hand and just ride. But I will still have a 16 or 13k attack swinging at your Vanguard, whatever the case may be. But the thing is though, when Kamui won with that Stride Generation hit, I'm not sure what exactly happened. Seemed like he only dealt 1 damage at the end. Nagisa ends up trying to reassure herself that she still has it with Kamui, saying that, oh, you have a part-time job? Work, because 3 months of salary, you can get me a ring, and then we get married, and stuff like that. And Kamui's just like, oh god, I dropped a banner hammer on you, and you still have this mindset? Ah, that's something. But Nagisa, I give her credit, although she did manipulate our main protagonist into thinking that you kind of have it out for Kamui so bad. You are reaching yandere levels of craziness right now. I think even Gasai would not only approve of that, but see you as her rival. And if you don't know who Gasai is, she is known as the queen of the yanderes, or I guess crazy girlfriend if you haven't seen the meme for that yet. And she's from Mirai Nikki. So as we conclude the episode, I think this episode was pretty funny and hilarious, and you provided Cardfight Vanguard in a few very broken and unrealistic ways, especially if we were able to do this. Because then you turn Gradelocks and say, I'm gonna stride. You know what? Okay, I'm Gradelock. Alright, I'm gonna stride. If I'm stuck at 0, stride. If I stuck at 1, stride. If I'm stuck at 2, stride. You literally ditch out 3 cards from your hands, so you get like a triple twin drive or a twin drive off them, and still land damage. I think that's actually pretty freaking cool. Because if you can introduce that in, you literally turn Gradelocks into the best thing ever. It's like, alright, I'm gonna ride 1, and then, okay, let's stride. Or I'm just gonna, not stay at 0 and just stride and just keep cards in my hand. But I don't think you want to do that because you can't guard with grade 1s or higher. So it's mostly recommended you want to stick with just regular riding. And if you can stride, go for it. Because, hey, it's Vanguard. Let's go. Episode review, I thought was very funny. I thought it was very hilarious. A good way to bring back a maybe not so beloved character in my opinion, but still a character nonetheless from the old school of Cardfight Vanguard. So that is it for the episode review. Try to keep it as short as possible. I'll try and put screenshots in throughout the entire review just for you to watch it. And that is it for me. My name is AlphonZeus. I hope that you've enjoyed this week that I've unlocked for you. And we will see you next time from Team Gradelock. Take care, guys.